Okay, let's dive into a fascinating economic puzzle, Switzerland. It's a country that, on paper, seems like it should have some major disadvantages, and yet it's a global giant. So, how on earth did that happen?
Right, this is the big question we're tackling today. How does a nation completely surrounded by land, with zero access to the sea, build an economic empire? It seems to go against all the rules. But the answer is just this brilliant mix of geography, smart strategy, and some really deliberate policy choices. And to really get a sense of the scale we're talking about, look at this number. In 2023, Switzerland's GDP was roughly $900 billion. I mean, that's not just wealthy, that is true powerhouse status. It puts them right up there with the richest countries in the world. So the question isn't just how they survived, it's how they thrived so unbelievably well. And it's not just about the money. This #1 ranking in the Human Development Index, that tells us that all that wealth actually translates into an incredible quality of life. We're talking top-tier healthcare, education, stability, the whole shebang. So Switzerland hasn't just built a rich country, they've built a profoundly successful society. So where do we even start to unravel this? Well, we have to begin with the country's most obvious feature, its geography. This is really the foundation of the entire Swiss model. The Alps. There's so much more than just a pretty postcard. For centuries, these mountains acted as this incredible natural fortress, shielding Switzerland from all the conflicts that were constantly tearing the rest of Europe apart. And that security, it gave them this rare, stable environment where society could just grow and develop without being constantly interrupted by war. Now here's where they got really clever. They took that defensive advantage and paired it with an economic one. While the Alps kept them safe, Switzerland's location, smack dab in the heart of Europe, made it a natural crossroads for trade. They built strong partnerships with all their neighbors so goods could flow smoothly, and they turned being landlocked from a weakness into a huge strategic advantage. But look, having a strong fortress isn't enough, right? I mean, lots of mountainous countries aren't global powerhouses. The Swiss added a second, absolutely crucial layer, a brilliant political strategy. They fully embraced a policy of neutrality. By officially staying out of everyone else's fights, they built this global reputation as a fair, impartial, and totally trustworthy mediator. This wasn't just a passive thing, it was an active strategy to make themselves indispensable on the world stage. Switzerland became the one place everyone could trust. And you can see the results of this everywhere. Cities like Geneva became the home for major global organizations. Think about it. The Red Cross was founded there. The UN put its European headquarters there. Why? For the exact same reason. Switzerland was seen as truly neutral ground, a safe harbor for diplomacy that really cemented its global importance. Okay, so we've got a secure fortress and a politically savvy nation. But where does the money actually come from? Well, that brings us to the third and final piece of this puzzle, a highly specialized and incredibly powerful economic engine. This quote from our source materials really just says it all. The Swiss didn't see being landlocked as a barrier they had to overcome. Instead, they just decided to focus on creating products that were so high value, so specialized, that how you shipped them barely even mattered. They decided to export quality, not quantity. And these are the industries that prove its strategy works. We're talking about world-leading pharmaceuticals, precision engineering that goes into things like complex medical devices, and of course, luxury watches that are basically the gold standard for quality across the globe. These industries don't need massive ports. They just need brainpower, innovation, and a rock-solid reputation.
All right, so we have the three pillars: geography, politics, and industry. Now let's put it all together to see how the magic really happens. It's actually a pretty logical progression. The secure geography gave them the stability they needed for smart politics, like neutrality, to really take hold. Then, that political stability and reputation for trust created the perfect breeding ground for a specialized, high-trust economy to absolutely flourish. See how each piece builds right on top of the last one? So at the end of the day, there's no single secret sauce to Switzerland's success. It's the powerful synergy, the way these three things, geography, neutrality, and industry, work together. If you take any one of those pieces away, the whole structure starts to look a lot weaker. It's that unique combination that really solves the paradox of the landlocked powerhouse. And that leaves us with a final thought, right? In today's world, with all its shifting alliances and digital economies, can this model actually last? Can Switzerland's unique formula for success keep working its magic in the 21st century? It's a really interesting question to think about. Thanks so much for watching.